Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a fucking ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today's December 12th, 2019. Take it away, Molly.
Thank you for that introduction.
Yeah, trying to make it a little different.
We got the Detroit Lions coming up.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. I think this is going to be a pretty one-sided game, but...
You never know.
You never know. Any given Sunday.
Any given Jameis.
They are 3-9-1. Their fan base, understandably, has given up on this season, as they have many seasons in the past. They're looking ahead at the draft already. It feels weird to not be in that position, to not have a winning record, but not be thinking about the draft.
I kind of wish I was into the draft and college football so that I could have that excitement, you know. It's just not appealing to me whatsoever. It's like, yeah, ooh, let's get ready for the draft. I feel like it's like people with Christmas presents, you know. They're opening new toys, you know. I want this, I want that. They're circling stuff in the catalog like you used to do when you were a kid.
What I heard is you hate Christmas.
Well, I did get the Christmas tree fixed today, so
Yay.
that took
we can enjoy it for 2 weeks.
Large chunk of time. Got one of those Christmas trees with the lights built into it, and when one goes out, they all go out, so you have to
But you know what? That tree has gotten us through 10 years. That is a long life for
Have we had that tree for 10 years?
We have. See, I'm all talking about buying a new one. You're like, it's fine. It's a 10-year-old tree with pre-lit lights.
Yeah, but in tree years, that meant it's like 3.
No, that's that's really good for an artificial tree.
I don't remember us having it for 10 years.
I bought it when we first got together.
That's probably why I don't remember it.
Right,
I was
exactly.
with you.
Maybe, but you don't remember that stuff.
What's your name?
All right, Detroit Lions.
Your name is Detroit Lions?
Yes. Focus.
Nice to meet you, Detroit.
So now that their season is basically over, everyone's going on IR. They just lost Marvin Jones, one of their top receivers.
Now, we're not saying that he's faking injury or anything. It's just...
It tends to happen at the end of losing seasons.
Yes.
I'm not accusing anyone of anything. It's just...
What's he got, a hamstring injury?
The nature of the beast. I can't remember. But now that he's out, they only have 3 receivers.
Yeah, 3 receivers total. Danny
On the
Amendola,
depth chart.
Chris Lacey, and Kenny Golladay.
They did bring one guy up from the practice squad today, Travis Fulgham.
From Old Dominion University?
Yep, that's where I graduated, my alma mater.
Do you remember him?
No. Shut up. They didn't even have a football program when I went there.
They didn't? No, they had a football program.
No, not since I graduated.
Wow, you are old.
It was like my senior year. That's when they got their football program.
I thought they had a football program for a long time.
Well, I mean, 10 years. It's kind of a long time.
So Danny Amendola, Chris Lacey, and Kenny Golladay. Now, Kenny Golladay is pretty good. We all know Danny Amendola is pretty good. But Chris Lacey, never heard of him.
Surprisingly, their offense is like 13th in yards per game, which is surprising to me.
Well, they did very good at the beginning of the year when they had Matthew Stafford. You know, he's a gunslinger. He's going to get you quite a few 300-yard games. And then when he got hurt and then Marvin Jones out, it's like...
And then... Who else was it? Kerryon Johnson. Is that their running back? Running back. Speaking of running backs, they've got Bo Scarborough starting on the depth chart. He's out this week. He had a rib injury.
Good
He's
Lord.
Sustained in Minnesota. Exactly.
So who's going to be starting, Ty Johnson or J.D. McKissick?
Yes. Both, I guess.
Probably.
Yeah.
They've been doing basically a running back by committee anyhow.
Right, and then they've got Wes Hills on the practice squad that they could promote. So we'll see. I know absolutely nothing about this team. Like, I don't even really know anyone on it. I kind of stopped paying attention, I think, when Calvin Johnson left. He was fun to watch.
We did watch last week's game against Minnesota.
They just got destroyed.
Yeah, they got beat up pretty bad.
Which, we should really take out all our playoff frustrations on the Lions because they're the reason we're not going to the playoffs. Had they beaten Minnesota, we would still be in the playoff hunt.
That's right.
So we should really channel that anger into this game and just beat the crap out of them.
We ought to punch them in the face mask.
I know. I'm telling you. Their defense has a league-low 5 interceptions this season. Jameis Winston should be able to help him out this week.
They might be able to double that.
No. I don't know. I think they could get 2, maybe.
Who's
Buckley
got
with
all the
7.
interceptions? Darius Slay?
I don't know. 5 interceptions.
I mean, on their whole defense, I know 2 guys. Trey Flowers and Darius Slay.
I guess when Matt Patricia came in, they're probably in rebuild again.
They've been in rebuild since 1920.
I know. I do feel bad for them. I do like the Lions. Kind of soft spot for them.
Have you ever met a Detroit Lions fan in real life?
No.
I'm not sure I have either, come to think about it. Do they even exist?
Just in Michigan, maybe.
I wonder how they're doing with attendance. We're playing at Detroit, right?
Yeah. This is our last road game.
I want to see what their attendance is like. All right, so we looked it up, and Detroit Stadium holds about between 65 and 70,000 people. Their paid attendance is about 65,000. So,
crazy.
They show up.
A lot of good it does them.
I know.
Maybe it's too cold to do anything up there.
They're all
They could have
just for the free heat.
They're currently on a 6-game lose streak.
Well, let's make it 7.
I agree. The Bucs have never finished a season with more than 3 wins in a row. Right
Really?
at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
So we could break that record.
Yeah, so if we finish, we've had 3 wins in a row in a season, obviously, but just at the end. So we'd have to finish all 6 games, which we can do. Since we were in Detroit's division before, we have a lot of games up against each other. 57, to be exact. They win the series, 31-26.
31-26?
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
No, not too bad.
Especially considering how bad we were in that division for so long. But then again, they were pretty bad too. Oh, and Green Bay was horrible too, up until Brett Favre got there.
Now they're just spoiled. They got Aaron Rodgers coaching the team.
He's probably general manager too.
Probably.
Interior decorator. He does everything. This is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about here.
I know.
Yeah, I'm looking on the broadcast version of the Bears-Lions game and some other Lions games. Their stadium looks, I don't know, I'd say 70% full. More packed than you would think.
Yeah.
All right, so.
All right, let's talk about how we stack up. In total offense, the Bucs are 3rd in the league. Woohoo! And the Lions are 13th, which I'm impressed that they're that high. You have a backup quarterback come in. You have a lot of injuries on your offense. It's pretty good. Our rushing offense is tied for 24th. Not great. They are 19th.
Not much better.
Not much better. Our passing offense is 2nd. Theirs is 7th. So, again, pretty impressive. Total defense, we're 17th, and they are 29th. Our rushing defense is back at 1st.
Really?
Very exciting. Theirs is 23rd.
Ugh.
So, this is a little side note, but Buccaneers opponents have tried 74 runs up the middle this year, and they've averaged just 2.2 yards per carry, which is the lowest against any defense in the NFL.
Sweet.
So, a nice little tidbit there.
The Jets are 2nd behind us in run stuffing. Is that right?
Well, the Bucs passing defense is back to 31st, and the Lions is 30th. So we're about evenly matched there. I think James is just going to have a field day. I hope so. Have you heard anything about his thumb?
Last I heard, it was bandaged up. He was wearing a cast on it, but it was just preventive.
Gotcha. Yeah, I saw him did he have an event for his foundation?
Yes, he did.
And it was on there. The Bucs are 3rd in points scored, and the Lions are 19th. So that's a pretty big disparity right there. We're 31st in points allowed. They are 24th. We are tied for 15th in sacks, and they are 28th in sacks. So not a great pass rush.
What are we in sacks?
15th.
Really?
We're tied. And then we're 24th for sacks allowed. They are 19th. Our turnover margin, I don't even want to talk about this one. We're tied for 28th. We have a -10 differential. They are tied for 20th. They are -3.
That's actually quite impressive on our part to only be 28th with Jameis Winston having himself having 23 interceptions.
Right, the most out of any quarterback.
That's incredible. Actually.
Yeah. Let's go over the injury report. For the Bucs, we've got Bo Allen with an ankle injury. He practiced Wednesday, not on the injury report. Thursday, he was on the injury report, but he was a full participant. Alex Kappa returned to practice this week. He was limited Wednesday, but a full participant on Thursday. DeMar Dotson, he got a rest day on Wednesday, so they had to put him on there. He was a full participant on Thursday. Well, I shouldn't say it was a rest day. I assume it was a rest day, but they just say it's not injury related. So sometimes they have like excused absences. Might have been that. Unsurprisingly, Mike Evans with the hamstring injury hasn't practiced all week. Scotty Miller with his hamstring, it looks like it's getting better. Maybe we'll have him for Sunday. He was limited Wednesday, full participant on Thursday. Anthony Nelson with his hamstring injury has kept him limited all week, but that's an upgrade from last week when he didn't practice at all. JPP has this nagging knee injury. He didn't participate Wednesday, but returned to practice on Thursday. Donovan Smith hasn't practiced all week. And Winston was limited both days. So not too bad, but Donovan being on the injury report, that's a little alarming. I do hope, however, it's given whoever is going to take his spot, if he doesn't play, the reps and everything to kind of get up to speed. So we do have that going for us, at least. For the Lions, they have cornerback Jamal Agnew with an ankle injury. He fully participated all week. Defensive end Austin Bryant had a hip injury. He's been limited all week. Guard Joe Dahl had a back and a knee injury. He hasn't participated all week. Jared Davis? I don't know.
Aaron.
Well, it has two R's and an A. Leave me alone.
Jaqueline.
Linebacker has an ankle and knee injury, hasn't participated all week. Defensive lineman Deshaun Hand has an ankle injury. They actually put him on IR today. Damon Harrison Sr., he's got so many injuries. The font is so small I can't read it. I think it says calf, knee, shoulder, rest. He's their defensive tackle. He was a full participant Wednesday, but didn't practice on Thursday. Linebacker Christian Jones has a shoulder injury that's kept him limited all week. Their punter, Sam Martin, he's got an abdomen injury. He's also been limited. Cornerback Rashawn Melvin has a rib injury, but he's fully participated all week. Ashawn Robinson, defensive tackle, he's got a shoulder injury. He hasn't participated all week. Bo Scarborough, as we talked about earlier, with the rib injury, was limited Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday, and we now know he's not playing. Of course, Matt Stafford with his back injury, he hasn't practiced all week. And then tackle Rick Wagner has a knee injury, and he has not practiced all week.
Damn.
Yeah, they have a pretty substantial injury report here.
Yeah, it's a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I think it's just getting to that point in the season for a lot of teams and a lot of guys, especially when you don't have anything to fight for, so... What do you think the key to the game is going to be? I know Bruce Arians was talking about Darius Slay. What do you think about him?
I've never really paid much attention to him. His name pops up all the time. I've always liked him. He seems to be pretty good. I haven't ever really watched any coaches' film on him that I can recall. We played the Lions a few years ago, so I'll probably watch coaches.
I think in 2017.
Yeah. I think I was impressed with him. I know in that Minnesota game he got beat quite a few times.
What do you think it's going to be like with Mike Evans not being there?
I don't think we're going to see much of a drop-off.
I don't think so either, especially with how the rest of the guys kind of rallied up after he went out.
Justin Watson played very, very well.
I think so, too.
He looks like he's coming to his own. I'm excited to see him out there, actually, Sunday. See what he can bring to the table. I don't think we're going to have much of an issue with this team.
No, I don't think so either. So are you going to lose your mind again if Jameis throws a pick like on the first play?
No, not now. I expect it. I'll probably be disappointed if he doesn't. And then I'll go, uh-oh, this is a jinx.
Yeah, I would almost just prefer it. Just throw it
get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, it is so funny because every time we win the toss, we always get the ball first. I think there's been one game where we deferred.
And then I think Jameis threw a pick that time anyway.
I think so too. But most teams defer. We don't. If we get the coin toss, we go out there on the field. But Jameis immediately gives the ball away, so it really doesn't matter.
But you know what? It happened with Brissett, I think, when he came out. Didn't he have a turnover after the third quarter? Or at the third quarter? Maybe it wasn't a turnover, but maybe they went 3 and out, so it didn't matter. I remembered something specifically.
But obviously not too specific.
Not too specifically, but I do remember that them having the ball first really didn't help them in the third quarter. I just found it in my game notes. Yeah, they had to punt their first possession of the third. So it didn't really help them either.
Sure. There's an article posted today on prideofdetroit.com, Super Bowl Nation. Former Lions tight end Hakeem Valles, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, rips Matt Patricia's fear-based culture, quoting, "There's too much ego." The former Lion did not hold back when talking about his time with Patricia versus Caldwell. This guy was a tight end, I believe. Yes, tight end, who loved Caldwell, hated Patricia. Said Patricia was just, one of those hard-nosed, tough guys who berated people. Like after every game, he'd drag everybody into the film room and chew them out for 90 minutes while showing them film.
Oh, God.
That's after a game. Could you imagine that? Ugh. And then...
especially a game that you lost.
He said that Patricia was late for every meeting all the time. It was like he did it on purpose because he was as big into this, I'm the alpha and everybody else is the beta. And but this guy sounds like really a disgruntled employee.
Yeah.
He ripped the owner, who is 96, because she couldn't remember his name. He did have good words for Matthew Stafford's leadership, causing the best quarterback in the NFL. But this guy's nobody. I mean, he played there for a year, maybe two.
Poor old lady.
I know. Martha Ford, she's 94 years old. The guy said, I have zero respect for Martha Ford, mainly because I've met her 10 to 15 times, and every single time I've met her, she's reintroduced herself. She's 94 years old, dude. There's, what?
Oh, that makes me sad.
70 players on the roster, not including coaches
I know.
and staff.
Think about how many rosters she's been through in her 94 years. So
you think she's been?
I know, that's like thousands of players that she's had to go through. I mean, if you have a 90-man roster at the beginning of each season, or off season.
Yeah. It's not. I don't know this guy's name. I've never heard of him.
No.
Got to be a star to get that kind of recognition from a 94-year-old. Huh?
I was listening to Pat McAfee today on the Patriots cheating scandal. Have you looked into that any?
Yeah. Apparently, did you want me to sum up what I know about it?
Yeah.
The way you were looking at me, you were like waiting for me to talk. Apparently, the New England Patriots are filming a video. It's a series called Do Your Job. So they've got a camera crew that's going around and following their scouts. They're basically doing some of the minor players in the organization, not players, but personnel. It's what they're highlighting on. They're following this one scout, and he was up in the press booth at the Cleveland-Cincinnati game. Well, the guys there, the cameraman, anyhow, this is the first time he'd ever done anything like this. Apparently this crew is kind of new, and they don't know the rules and regulations, and he put up a tripod with a camera and had it pointing at the Cincinnati Bengals sideline. And I guess they left because the camera was just sitting there, and one of the Bengals guys saw it, freaked out, went and got security and the Browns officials, and they came in and confiscated the card from the camera. And of course, Belichick saying, well, he doesn't have anything to do with the production crew and everything, but he's a sneaky bastard. He's cheating. He's cheating.
I'm surprised to see you say that.
Oh, I'm a cheater. I recognize a cheater. He's a cheater. But he's a cheater. He's a good cheater.
Okay. On Pat McAfee's podcast, Matt Hasselbeck texted Pat McAfee and was like, I gotta come on your show to talk about this. I can't believe you didn't even ask me about this. And I can't believe you didn't think about this aspect. That using hand signals is not that useful in the NFL anymore.
No.
So whatever they got from it, they're not, what are they going to do with it? It's minimal.
It's a game of inches, and anything you can get is valuable. Belichick has got apparently a genius mind for football.
Or cheating.
For cheating. Well, according to me and all the evidence, this is the first time he's been busted doing this.
Everyone wants him to be a cheater because they can't explain what he does otherwise.
Right. So you can see tendencies and stuff like that coaches do, like changes player personnel. There are signals that they do on the sidelines. Like when the offense is coming on the field, they have guys up in the booth with binoculars that see who is coming on the field. And so they'll signal the defense and they'll say, hey, there's 2 tight ends and a running back. So the defense will hold up a card that says 12 on it or 21.
Okay, but that's not a hand signal. That's a card.
Yeah, but if you look, a lot of the cards will be cryptic. They'll have, it'll be like a smiley face and sometimes they'll use emojis.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll use just pictures, whatever.
Or letters or whatever.
So, if you could videotape that and then, just get one little advantage, there you go. All kinds of stuff I would do if I was a head coach. I talk about it all the time. All the cheating I would do.
A total I do not play board games with Ralph because he cheats every time.
Not just board games. I cheat with everything.
Everything.
But see, here it is. I don't cheat when I'm in actual competition, and I do it with you because you're so naive. I don't want you to think that everybody is going to tell you when they're cheating. So I'll cheat, and I always tell you. So that you'll see that.
If anyone buys that, please tweet me, and I have some shit to sell you.
Yeah, well.
Okay, let me tell you, when I discovered Ralph was a cheater, he could do the Rubik's Cube, and eventually I decided I was going to do it too, but I Googled the instructions online, and I memorized them that way, and turns out I could do it faster. My way was better. Or the instructions way, which is really weird to me because you always read instructions. I'm surprised you didn't go that route. So at the time, Facebook was big and that game Farmville. So I played that for fun, and Ralph decided he was going to join Facebook just so he could play Farmville with me. And he downloaded a bot to harvest all of his crops. If you're not familiar with Farmville, you have to plant your crops. If you plant like celery and it takes 4 hours to grow, you got to come back in 4 hours and harvest it or else it all wilts. So Ralph found a workaround, the bot. And so he never had to harvest his own crops.
I forgot all about that.
He became like a millionaire farmer in Farmville in like 2 weeks. All out of petty revenge for me beating him on the Rubik's Cube.
We never did have a re-showdown after that. I let you beat me at the Rubik's Cube. I was trying to date you, so.
Lies.
But then there was a time we played, not there, soon thereafter. What was we were playing? Monopoly?
Yeah.
With
somebody else.
Yeah, and when you went to use the bathroom, and I talked to her into
cheating too.
Yeah.
Wait, you asked me first, and I was like, absolutely not.
Right. Yeah. So hey, I found we whooped you, and then we were laughing so hard, or I was laughing.
I think that was the last game I ever played with you. Never again.
Now, see, you are a horrible loser. I just
don't like cheating. I like people that like it. I like playing a board game where you play by the rules.
Okay. Well, what about Madden?
You cheated.
No, I didn't cheat.
You did cheat.
I honestly whooped your butt up and down, and you quit. You were like, I'm never going to play again. And we haven't played again.
You cheated.
Right. See, this is the whole Bella Belichick thing. You get caught cheating once. That's the thing. You've never caught me cheating. I've always told you. Because I think it's funny. I do. I think it's funny. We do this thing. Well, this is going off on a tangent.
I know.
We do this thing where we pick, at the beginning of the year, we make a pick on every team in the league and where they're going to finish up at the end of the year. And then who's going to go to the playoffs and who's going to the Super Bowl. This year, we both picked New England. Of course, you picked...
Minnesota.
You picked Minnesota. I picked New Orleans.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, we did this. And she knows I'm a cheater, so... we would like seal it up in an envelope. We'd write our initials on the back of it, all these protections and all this good stuff. It never stopped me. I would.
This time, I put in a file folder in my car, and lo and behold, 3 weeks later, it's in his inbox, that file folder. I was like, you bastard.
Yeah, I steamed the envelopes open and all that to change my picks. That was hilarious.
You could just forge my initials.
I did that once, too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, it's all in fun. It's all in fun. I always tell you, if I was a real cheater, I would never tell you.
Mm-hmm. What started this tangent? I don't remember. Pat McAfee.
Oh, no.
So they start going on about these college coaches who they're saying the real authoritarian coaches work well in college where you can like dictate every minute of these guys' lives and
yeah, you hear that a lot.
They're not paid more than you. I think that's why Greg Schiano did well in college, but not in the NFL.
Right, that's what everybody says.
So it sounds
I have my own theory about that, though.
It sounds like Matt Patricia maybe is a little
the
authoritarian.
They're trying to get rid of all that mess. Basically, they're trying to get rid of all masculinity on the planet, I think. But in the NFL, they're definitely going in that way. And it used to be all coaches were that way.
Even in the NFL?
Yes. I mean, Tom Coughlin is like the last coach I remember that was old school authoritarian. There was none of this player coaches and all that. Now they're all player coaches, but these guys are making so much money.
Most of them make more than the coach.
Right. And they have more power in the coach too, as far as the media, and because the media will always take the player side over management or owners. Always.
Yeah, like look what they're doing with the Jets. The Jets players keep coming out. Or earlier in the season, we're coming out.
Well, the media has this thing that they're the arbiters of who is the oppressed and who is the oppressor, who is the underdog and all this. So they see the players as...
Right, it's the billionaires oppressing the millionaires.
Right. So they'll always take the player side. So, they get all these stories about coaches doing this and coaches doing that, and the media will run with it and everything. But, that's the hardest part of being a head coach, I think, would be managing all these people. Because you give a guy who, maybe come from middle class or lower, something like that, all the way up through college. And then he goes to the NFL and he gets his first paycheck, especially if he's a top draft pick. Now, he's getting millions of dollars. And you're still expecting him to go out and do the exact same thing he was doing for free in college and high school when he could be out on his yacht drinking Chardonnay with a bunch of beautiful people. I was going to say females, but you never know.
I was going to say bitches.
It's got to be a huge temptation for these guys to just be like, oh, man, screw this. I'm not going to try as hard because I'm paid. I've got money. I'm going to go out and enjoy my life. And as a head coach, you've got to wrangle all these different personalities. And God, when these guys get this money, that their ego just blows up. And not only that, but the way the fans will just, blow smoke up their butts all day long. We've had quite a few of those on our team.
Who are you talking about?
Jeremy McCoy. And as a coach, you've got to get all that in order. It's not about the X's and O's so much. That's one of the things I'd like a coach that doesn't call plays. I'm not a big fan of a coach that calls plays for the offense and the defense. I like a coach that manages. I see them as managers anymore. It used to be different back in the day, but so, you hear all this stuff about Matt Patricia and the Jets. What's going on with the Jets? Players are revolting.
Yeah, it was early in the season.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah.
Right.
So, of course, like the media had to hunt this guy down from Detroit, this tight end. What's his name? Valez. Never heard of him. He actually played with Detroit for 1 year, 2 years maybe, and then he was on the practice squad. Then he went to the New York Giants practice squad, and then he retired. So this guy's, a relative nobody in the NFL world, but yet they hunt him down to get an interview with him, see what he thinks about Matt Patricia. He's a disgruntled employee. Of course, he's going to talk crap. But, but Patricia might be a jerk. I think these guys, some of them, they need that. They need that authoritarian, that no nonsense. But like Bill Belichick is kind of that way. It's a no nonsense football. He doesn't put up with any crap.
I think that there's a difference there between being like an authoritarian and just emphasizing professionalism. And Bill Belichick's whole thing is do your job, right. Like that series that they're doing. So I think it's more about the game and the system and the team than it is about Bill Belichick. Right,
or the players. Right. He doesn't like anybody to, be on social media a lot, doesn't like them to bring a lot of attention to themselves. If they start becoming an attention magnet, they eject them, if they're...
Yeah, look at Antonio Brown.
Yeah, so, they'll bring them in and say, hey, this is a team thing. It's not about you. And if they start acting that way, they're out. So, there's all different types. I prefer a more authoritarian coach like that. All the teachers I've ever had that I've really liked, throughout college and high school and all that, were more authoritarian. I felt like I learned more. Yeah.
Like you responded better to the structure, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
I guess.
Because in general, you're anti-authoritarian.
Right, I know. It's weird, isn't it?
It's so weird. But with Matt Patricia, you just wonder, this will be, his second year?
Yes.
They've lost both years. I think his record is like 9-19-1 as their head coach.
Typical Belichick tree.
Yeah, and the poor Lions, they've been through this rodeo how many times? As often as we have, probably.
I think their biggest mistake was getting rid of Schwartz. Was that his name, Schwartz?
Yeah, Jim Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator for the Eagles now. Yeah. Right? Yeah, God, he is so good, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. But in this year, they say he's shown up on time for meetings. He's not being as gruff with the players, all that mess. So.
But has he poisoned that well already?
Well, he was trying to build his team. This guy, this tight end here, and all the guys they got rid of were leftovers from Caldwell's team.
Yeah.
So,
Which frequently happens.
Yeah, it happens every time you get a regime change. So, he's going to find players that respond to the way he coaches.
Yeah. And guys that he likes, he's probably going to treat differently. I mean, maybe he didn't like those guys. I don't know.
True.
Maybe they had a bad attitude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what we can expect from Detroit is a pretty tough team. If nothing else, they're going to be tough physically.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Although, I'm trying to think. It seems like against that Minnesota game, there was quite a few instances of lack of tackling. I want to say number 40 or 48. I was watching him a lot of the game. He just looked like he did not want to be out there on the field. He would avoid contact.
Maybe. And Blau just got destroyed that game.
We are going to. Yeah, I really thought we'd feast on Brissett more than we did. Although we didn't do bad considering their offensive line. But we are. This guy looks like it hurts him to throw the football. He's so small. And when he throws it, he puts everything into it. He almost grimaces, It's like, oh.
He threw 2 picks against Minnesota and had 5 sacks, putting up a passer rating of 60.9.
Against Minnesota?
Yeah.
Well, it is Minnesota, too. So.
Yeah.
Hey, you predicted they were going to the Super Bowl.
I'm still sticking to it. They're in the playoffs, so you never know.
You never know.
The Saints were a good pick. They were my second pick.
Plan B. And we both picked the Patriots because,
it's the
Patriots. And it's so funny. You're hearing everybody's like they're on this losing skid. They've lost, a few games in a row here.
Yeah, now that they're in the more difficult part of their schedule, right?
Yeah. First, how did the NFL do that? They're bipolar. One minute you think they hate the Patriots, the next minute you think they love the Patriots. I mean, they gave the Patriots the easiest schedule in the league. This is a team that just won the Super Bowl.
Right.
They get the easiest schedule in the league. But then again, playing in that division is pretty easy. Although Buffalo, who saw that coming?
I know.
So we both picked the Patriots. And if I didn't pick the Patriots, I definitely don't think I would have picked Baltimore. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I have them leading the division.
Yeah, I probably would have picked the Steelers.
Ugh. But
or
anyhow,
the Chiefs.
So everybody is like, oh, the Patriots are done. Should they start doing more trick plays? And every year this happens. It's so crazy. And it just it gives the Patriots fuel. They love this.
They need it.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they're tanking on purpose.
You never know with them cheating bastards.
I just think that they are in a totally different league.
Yeah, they are.
Completely.
You just can't be this good. That is the best performance by any sports team in history. With the way the NFL has worked so hard to get parity and then to have a team be on top this dominant for 20 years, it's incredible.
I think we've talked more about the Patriots than we have about the Lions.
I know we've done that more than we have the Buccaneers. We said anything about the Buccaneers in this podcast?
No, because I'm not really worried about the Buccaneers.
I know, me neither.
Yeah. I think they're going to come out there and have fun, and their goal is going to be to win.
If they play with energy, keep an eye on Whitehead. Whitehead seems to be he took the role of Quan Alexander.
I'm so glad that you brought him up because we ended up watching that mic'd up. And the coolest thing I saw about him was he has handshakes with all these different people. So he did it with Carlton Davis and Devin White, and their handshakes are different.
Yeah, they're complex
but
handshakes.
They're very rigid, and they have great form.
With the handshakes?
They're dead serious about it.
Yeah, and you can tell they put a lot of practice into it.
Yeah, and it's almost a little militaristic with how snappy their movements are. They're like a good cheerleader has some good snappy motions. And also, him and Carlton Davis seem to have a good bond. He was the first one that I saw the handshake with, and then I think Whitehead might have made a play, or maybe Davis made the play, and the other one went right up to him, and they were congratulating each other, and so.
He's got so much energy, and he's definitely a rah-rah guy. And he brings a lot of energy to that defense. And when you see him not having energy, that's a bad sign for our defense.
He kind of fell off in the middle of the season, I thought.
Yes. Well, he got hurt. I can't remember which game. And then there was 2 games in a row. The second Saints game, and what was one right before that?
Seattle?
We're horrible Bucs fans. Was it Seattle? Anyhow, there was a couple games where he just did not have the energy he normally does, and the defense didn't play as well without that. So keep an eye on Whitehead, see how he's running around after plays and during the game, and that should be a good indication to how our defense is going to play. But if we play with the energy we've had the past few weeks, there's no way Detroit's going to get very far on us defensively.
Yeah, I mean, they have a backup quarterback. But that didn't work in our favor before. I mean, we played...
we played plenty of backup quarterbacks that have whooped us, but this is a new team.
Yeah.
This is a new team.
Okay. So, yeah, that's true. We had Daniel Jones. We had Teddy Bridgewater. Ryan Tannehill.
God.
It's not a very good run against backup quarterbacks.
Ryan Tannehill's playing lights out. They're on a
I know.
6 or 7 game win
Yeah,
streak?
they're still in the hunt.
I thought they had the division.
No, they were 2 games behind Houston. Well, I think when we played them. Oh, no, they're tied with
tied
Houston.
up.
Okay,
Yeah.
when we played them, they were 2 games behind Houston.
Obviously,
They done caught up.
yeah, Houston's got the tiebreaker apparently.
They're on a 4-game win streak. That's crazy.
Yeah, Houston's got one more division win than Tennessee. So, but Tannehill's doing great.
I'm starting him in fantasy this week against Jacksonville, I think.
That's right. You're in the playoffs. Who
I
are
am.
you playing?
I don't remember.
You better win.
I'm going to win. I hope. Nothing worse than getting knocked out the first week.
Yeah, there is.
Not making it out.
Not making the playoffs.
How's that feel?
Feels terrible. It's the first time it's ever happened. I am in the losers bracket, so we get a week off this week.
Oh, that's nice.
Not really.
Why don't you trade me all your good players?
They won't let us.
Collusion.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I forgot to bring this up. Sue is coming home.
Yeah.
It's where he was drafted.
Yeah, and he played 5 years there.
I think 4.
They spent a lot of money on him. I think at one point he was making $20 million a year.
Wow.
It was a ridiculous amount for a defensive tackle.
I wonder how he'll play. I think he'll show up pretty good.
From what I've seen of this Detroit's offensive line, I think everybody's going to play pretty good on our defensive line, especially after playing the Colts last week. You know, you go from playing a really good offensive line to a not really good offensive line, and you're going to play better because you are used to playing the good offensive line.
All right, what's your score prediction?
You go first.
All right, I'm going to go 17.
We're only going to score 17 points?
No, the Lions.
You think they're going to score that many?
They could go high, although they did only score 7 against the Vikings. All right, I'm going to give them 17, and I think that we're going to score, I'm going to go with 42.
Holy crap, whoa.
I think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeesh. I like the cut of your jib.
I just think if Jameis Winston throws it like he did last week, although he's got the thumb injury, I hope that's not going to hurt him. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, if it does, you can use it as an excuse for your bad prediction.
All right, what's your score?
No, I really like your confidence. It's exciting. Well, you know, the Lions have, I think Minnesota is about the worst game they've played twice. Minnesota beat them by 12 points in week 7 and then whooped them last week. Other than that, I don't think anybody's beaten them by more than one score. They went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs, but, you know, they also had Matt Stafford at that point, too. So I'm going to have to go, I'm like in the 30 range, so I'm going to say 32-21.
I gotcha. I should have said the Bucs score first, right? I did 17-42. It should have been 42-17. Okay.
I don't think it matters.
Corrected it.
I was trying to be funny.
So you're saying Bucs 32, Lions 21?
Yeah. How did we do last week in our picks, our score?
I said 31-24 Bucs. You said 31-21 Bucs.
So you were closer.
I was closer. In your face. We like never do this. We make the predictions one week and then never touch them again.
Yeah, forget about them.
I don't even look at them.
Yeah. And you did bring up a point that you think Detroit's pretty much given up on the season. So, are they going to score?
I mean, it is the last season.
Yeah.
I mean, 42 might be a little optimistic. But they do have a not great passing defense. It's like 30th.
Really?
Yeah.
Yee.
So, with Jameis, I'm like, he can put up that many points.
Yeah. Things are not looking good for the Detroit Lions. All right. Well, there is no press conference for Bruce Arians that I'm going to add on because I added them both on last night instead of saving one for this podcast. I don't know. I was drunk. So if you want to hear Bruce Arians' latest podcast, listen to our podcast from yesterday. So that's going to wrap it up for us. We are pretty confident we're going to win against Detroit Lions. That'll give us 4 in a row. Hoping to close out the season with 6 in a row. Really, the only game we're worried about is the Houston Texans.
Meh.
And honestly, not really that worried about them.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm still basking in the glow of Sunday's win.
I know.
It's 3 wins in a row, man. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm going to get used to this feeling now.
I know. You do want to end a season like this.
You really do.
Rather than get the wins all up front and then have a lose streak. That sucks.
That's the worst. That's what we did last year.
Yeah.
That was horrible. Just so disappointing. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for us. Until next time.
Go Bucks.